My name is Reed Pritchard, and today I'm going to show you how to run the plasma cutter, both handheld and CNC driven. So starting off with our objectives, we are going to learn how to effectively use the handheld plasma cutter to make specific curriculum cuts like butt welds, lap welds, that kind of thing, as well as run the CNC machine and be able to create stencils and cut them out on the computer. But starting with your PPE, we've got some pretty basics here. We've got your these are your darkened shades for cutting. Heavy leather gloves, protect your hands. Some sort of apron or welding leathers. It doesn't necessarily have to be an apron, just anything to cover your core. Closed-toed leather shoes, pants, and long sleeves. These have a similar shade to welding helmet. Welding helmets would still work, but these suffice much better. So, moving on to the parts of the plasma cutter. So, from the machine coming out, we have your air distributor, then your electrode. This is what generates heat. Similar to welding, electrical current passes through here, gets really hot, and is focused by your plasma cutter tip. Then the air along with the heat is funneled through this shield right here, and it's all held together by this cup. So putting it back, start with the air distributor, move on to your electrode, and your tip, and then your cup actually, and then your shield. And this, along with your PPE you already have on, has another safety measure. This handheld plasma cutter has a guard right here that gives you a 2-second delay. So along with the trigger guard, I can't run this without flipping this red trigger guard up. There is also a 2-second delay. It is off, but there's a 2-second delay. The plasma cutter is a very simple machine with your voltage right here, as well as your on and off switch. This is your air source that provides the air current to blow the molten metal out. So in cutting, there is a difference in between cutting heavy metal as well as cutting light metal. So we'll show you a demonstration right now of the difference. This is a lighter plate right here. So when you swatch, the plasma cutter will move through it much quicker than it will this second piece of metal. If you watch on the second piece, this heavier 1/4-inch plate, it moves much slower. So if you watch, I'll have to go a lot slower than I did on this plate right here. So we just saw cutting on light metal as well as heavy metal. The one thing you need to make sure is that you are grounded. Because you're working with an electrode in this tip right here, you have an electrical current that needs to exit through your ground. So never forget your ground. So that's it for the handheld plasma cutter. We're going to move on to the CNC machine. So this is the plasma cutter on a CNC table. So because we're still working with an arc, we'll have the same PPE, your cutting glasses, heavy leather gloves, closed-toed shoes. Now, because we are dealing with an arc, once again, we have a ground on the table. In our CNC system, the computer itself is down here. It takes air as well. There's an air hose right here to the right to blow that molten metal to make the actual cut itself. But if you take a look here, the table is actually full of water as well. And the water just helps to reduce the smoke and ash and any harmful fumes that come from the cut itself. Now the tip is right here. And this tip has the same parts as the handheld cutter. Your distributor, your your electrode, your tip, all that stuff. So this is your CNC system. It's a computer-based system that you can attach to your plasma table. So the CNC system is made up of 3 primary parts. You got your CAD, your CAM, and your CNC. CAD, CAM, CNC. Under the CAD section, this is where you insert your stencil, insert your image. Obviously, I got an image of the Chico State Wildcat right here. Under CAM, this is where you see all the different types of cuts and lead outs. These red lines right here, that is a lead out, meaning at the end of that red line, the arc will start and the cut begins out there. You don't want that cut to start on your gray because your gray is what you're keeping. The whites will all fall out of the cut, but you will be keeping the gray. And see right here, the teeth were not a part of the stencil. So we had to add these bridges right here to keep these teeth from falling out of the cut. And now finally, your CNC page, this is where you're ready to cut. This is where you make sure the machine is zeroed, all that good stuff. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and start it. Have your cutting box on. Move it first. Huh? Move it first. How do I cut that? So, just like that, we have a stainless steel Wildcat. Okay guys, so we just went over the handheld plasma cutter as well as the CNC system driven table plasma cutter. So you should be familiar enough to start practicing. This is an important mechanical skill that many shops, fabricating facilities will expect you to be familiar with. It's a very, very universal skill to be able to know how to use the handheld plasma cutter. So to celebrate you guys, I'm impressed with your patience and your excitement to learn new content and work with a totally new bit of curriculum. And I challenge you guys to take this out and use it in the real world and use it in some mechanical setting, whether or not that's fabrication, working on Dad's ranch, whatever. But without further ado, I congratulate you guys and thank you so much for tuning in.